My Galaxy S25 Ultra had everything I wanted from a flagship phone, but its battery life was becoming impossible to ignore. Even with moderate use, I watched the percentage drop far too quickly and found myself reaching for a charger before the day was over. I initially blamed demanding apps, but the real problem was a collection of settings quietly running in the background. Once I tracked them down, battery life became noticeably more predictable. Tweaking always-on display behavior. A nice battery boost. Samsung's always-on display is useful, but I never needed it glowing continuously and showing the time, date, and battery level every minute of the day. I mainly use it to glance at incoming notifications, so keeping it enabled all the time felt like an unnecessary drain. Instead, I changed its behavior to activate only when a new notification arrives. Now the screen briefly shows the information I actually care about without staying active between alerts. I can still see when I have missed a message, email, or reminder, but the display stays completely off when there is nothing waiting for my attention. Go to Settings to lock screen and AOD to always on display to when to show, and select for new notifications from the following menu. Changing the performance profile. Light mode was enough for me. Samsung's standard performance profile is designed to deliver the best balance of speed, responsiveness, and cooling, but I realized I was not really using all that extra performance. I do not play demanding games, record long 4K videos daily, or run processor-heavy apps on my phone, so switching to the light profile made more sense for my daily routine. It slightly reduces processing speed to prioritize battery life and thermal efficiency, but in normal use, I barely notice a difference. Apps still open quickly, scrolling remains smooth, and everyday tasks such as messaging, browsing, navigation, and social media feel exactly the same. Of course, light mode may not suit everyone. If you notice major slowdowns in your daily workflow, switch back to standard. For the way I use my phone though, light mode delivers the better balance. You can head to Settings to Device, Care to Performance Profile, and select Light. Stopped unnecessary apps from running in the background. A handy trick. I also reviewed the apps that were allowed to run in the background and moved the unnecessary ones into Samsung's deep sleeping apps list. I found the option under Settings to Battery to Background Usage Limits to Deep Sleeping Apps, then tapped the plus icon in the top right corner to select the apps I rarely use. Apps placed here can't run in the background and generally become active only when I open them manually, which helps prevent them from quietly syncing data, checking for updates, or consuming power throughout the day. I did not uninstall these apps because I still need some of them occasionally. Airline apps, shopping services, food delivery platforms, and editing tools may sit unused for days, but deleting and reinstalling them every time would be inconvenient. Deep sleep gives me a useful middle ground. The apps remain installed and ready when I need them, but they are not constantly competing for battery in the background. Switched off 5G in weak signal areas, an often overlooked setting. I stopped forcing my Galaxy S25 Ultra to stay connected to 5G in areas where the signal was weak or inconsistent. When the phone constantly searches for a 5G connection or keeps switching between 5G and LTE, the modem has to work harder, which can increase battery drain. I noticed this most often indoors, while traveling, and in parts of the city where 5G coverage was available on paper but unreliable in practice. In those situations, I head to Settings to Connections to Mobile Networks, to Network Mode, and select LTE Preferred. The speed is still more than enough for browsing, messaging, music streaming, navigation, and social media, while the connection usually feels more stable. Controlled syncing and background activity. Disabling unused accounts. I also reviewed which accounts and services were syncing data in the background. My photos and videos were already backing up to Google Photos, so I did not need Samsung Gallery to upload the same library to OneDrive as well. Running both services meant my phone could repeatedly scan, process, and upload the same media files, especially after taking several photos or recording a large video. I did the same with other unnecessary email accounts, calendars, and duplicate services from doing the same job in the background. Tackle these silent power hogs. My Galaxy S25 Ultra did not have one obvious battery problem. Instead, several small One UI settings were quietly adding up throughout the day. None of these changes ruined the experience or stripped away features I actually use. That said, every step is different, so I would not recommend copying every setting blindly. Start with the features you rarely need, monitor the results, and switch anything back if it affects your daily workflow.